Ah, the beach. What a fun place to go. But not only is it fun, it's also really important to our environment. The ocean provides us with almost 80% of our oxygen and provides us with lots of fish for us to eat. Who wouldn't want anything to happen to the ocean, right? Well, if mankind continues doing what it does today, the ocean will soon be destroyed. Sea life is in decline because instead of protecting fish, people just want to eat it. This makes people do really stupid things to get their seafood. One of these stupid methods is bottom trawling. This ingenious method involves getting a giant net and scraping it on the bottom of the ocean. They do this in coral reefs, and as you probably guessed, this is not good for coral reefs. And these nets don't always reach their intended targets. A lot of other animals get in the way, and they're usually just thrown away because we can't eat them. Another method these geniuses use to collect fish is by putting dynamite in the water and collecting the mangled corpses after they blow them to smithereens.
One species that is severely impacted by overfishing is sharks. Shark populations have decreased significantly through the last few years. One cause of this declining population is shark fin soup. Shark fin soup is a traditional soup of Chinese cuisine served at special occasions such as weddings and banquets, or as a luxury item in Chinese culture. One bowl of shark fin soup can cost up to $100. Unfortunately, because of shark fin soup, an estimated 32% of open ocean sharks are facing extinction. Over 100 million sharks are killed every year for the purpose of making shark fin soup.
Seems like people care more about land animals than ocean animals. To prove my point, we are going to go interview some people.
Decided to interview some 4th graders. Okay, so we're going to conduct a test. I'm going to show you a bunch of different pictures of different animals. And some of the animals are facing endangerment.
What does endanger mean?
Endangerment is when an animal is in danger of being extinct. I'm going to show you a series of pictures of different animals. Now, you're going to tell me how you honestly feel on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you would want to help save this animal. 1 being you don't really care about this animal. 10 being you would do everything in your power to save this animal. You ready to start? Go. Here's the big reveal. All of the fish were endangered species. Each fish we showed the kids has a conservation status of critically endangered. Every mammal we showed the kids has a conservation status in the lowest risk, the least concern. This is an illustration of the results from the survey. Every kid we interviewed gave a much higher number, like between 7 and 10, to the cute land mammals who are at no risk of extinction. The almost extinct fish, they gave between 1 and 5. Fish may not be as cute and furry, but they are just as important to our planet and deserve our help. Luckily, the situation is not hopeless, because there is sustainable seafood. And probably you guys are wondering, what's sustainable seafood? Thing is, sustainable seafood is a seafood that is caught or farmed in responsible ways. So they don't use any endangered things, and they don't do it in illegal ways and they don't do too much of it. It's just responsible. So places you can find sustainable seafood is at Bel Air, Rayleigh's, and Nob Hill.
One way to help is by eating food lower down on the food chain, like squid, mussels, and oysters. The other upside to eating food lower on the food chain is it doesn't have quite as much mercury. Mercury is a toxic material that kills people. Another easy way to help is to eat local, presumably stuff that was caught within the US, or even better, California.
And so, brave heroes journeyed to Capitola, California to interview David at Lisa Sushi. Undercover his heroic deeds in serving only sustainable seafood.
Lisa Sushi is one of the 8 sushi restaurants in America that serves only sustainable seafood options. So, why did you decide that it was a good choice to offer only sustainable seafood choices?
Well, that all goes back to the first days when the Monterey Bay Aquarium made up their Seafood Watch guidelines, which was, if my memory serves me well, back in the late 90s, okay, 1998 or 9. That's when I remember first seeing it. I was a sushi chef, and some of the fish that I saw on the Seafood Watch guidelines were fish that I was serving. Bluefin tuna was really in trouble, okay, and that was at the top of their list. That was a bad thing. We were serving bluefin tuna. Unagi was on their list. We served unagi. Hamachi was on their list. A lot of things that we were serving were on the red ranked list for the Seafood Watch guidelines, and since I was unaware that the very line of work that I was in was causing problems with the environment, and yet I've always liked to think of myself as an environmentalist. So, how do you live a life that ties together what you believe in with what you actually do? That's really what it boils down to. So, and that's when I first started actually talking to the aquarium and to different owners of restaurants about doing it. At that point, I wanted to call it an eco-friendly sushi bar. But it was important to me not to know that I wasn't harming the environment. And suddenly, I knew I was.
Does sustainable seafood options taste worse than normal seafood?
No. That's an interesting question. But I suppose a lot of people, when they first hear about sustainable seafood, might have that fear. So it's good. I'm glad you're asking it. But the answer is not at all. In many cases, in most cases, in my experience as a person who cuts fish every day, let's just look at it that way now, okay? That because there's a strict line of documentation and paperwork that's involved with making sure that the fish is sustainable, there's more attention paid to it at every step of the way in its handling, because it costs more, right? So in point of fact, the fish ends up being higher quality. But yeah, in my experience, it actually ends up being not just higher quality, but much higher quality. And when it comes to fish, the quality of the fish is at the root of how it tastes. You can't hide bad quality fish.
Yeah. In your experience, how do kids help with people like you keep our oceans healthy and make sure there are plenty of sea life for generations?
How are kids doing that right now? Kids are talking to their parents about it, okay? And in doing that, they get their parents to think about, if my kid is thinking about, do our choices, do our purchases help the environment or hurt the environment, then you're doing something right there when you talk to your parents about it, okay? It's you guys that we're reaching out to more than anyone, because you guys are the future of the planet.
Here we are at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
entire section dedicated to preserving the sea wildlife.
If you're looking for ways to help conserve, this is the perfect place. They pretty much invented sustainable seafood. With the Seafood Watch app, you can find out what food is sustainable and what you should buy and what you shouldn't.